Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is how Any Run runs a virus in real time in a sandbox environment for you. Andy Stevens asks, how can I check if a file is malicious or contains malware? Well, Andy, I have the perfect solution for you. Today, I'm going to look at 5 free resources for conducting virus analysis. Stay tuned. I have a virus here that I downloaded, and let me share with you, and it's this one, and it is called QuickBox. It's not QuickBooks, it's QuickBox for some weird reason. So all right, let's get into uploading this virus to Virustotal. So the first thing I want to say is that before you do anything, I mean, you can look at the properties of the files using Windows machines, or the certificate or anything like that. Fine, that's good, but you're not going to get much information from it. The way you get information is by uploading the files to different resources that have millions and millions of data on different viruses. So the first one is Virustotal, and this is great. You can upload a file, you can put a URL in here, or you can search by hashes, URLs, IP addresses, domain, name, host, etc. And you can create your own collection of IOCs in here as well. So I'm going to upload this file to Virustotal right now. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to upload this and then just wait for a little bit, and you can see right away. So here are the crowdsources Yara rules for this, right? And if you go down the page, you will see all the security vendors blacklisting this virus. This is definitely suspicious. It's a really, really bad virus. As you can see, it could be a Trojan. 60 out of 70 security vendors have flagged this as a malware. It also gives you the hashes. So there's the hash. If you go to details, you'll see the MD5 hash, the SHA1 hash, etc. So all the hashes for the files, creation time, first submission, the last submission, analysis, the names. So for example, this is QuickBox .executable, so the one that I uploaded, but you can see also by other names. So if you go down the page, there's more information about this imports that this file does. So all of this DLLs. So Virustotal is a really good way of checking out first glance at the virus. You go into relations, and then you'll see this, which is the graph summary in here as well. And then you'll see the domain resolutions. You can also see the IP addresses. If I click on behavior, then it gives me a little bit of information about the MITRE analysis, which is okay, but it's not the best, right? So process trees and all of that, but I have a better tool for doing that. So at a first glance, Virustotal is the first resource you go to when checking out viruses. So there is also the comments from the community in here, which I find very, very helpful. Sometimes if you want to see the entire tree, then you can just click on this little icon here again, and you can explore on the graphical interface of Virustotal. You can see that, and this is pretty cool. I like that. So you see the executable right here, and then you see the contact points, contacted domains in here as well, and then the execution of the file. But let's get a little deeper into what's going on with this. We know that it's Ave Maria rat or Trojan. If I go here, this is I have an account with them as well. If I click on scan, and I can upload the file, right? And it gives me a whole list of other files that have been analyzed before. And so let's upload this puppy here, and we just wait, and it is analyzing right now. Okay, right away you can see that the family is Ave Maria, the Ave Maria rat, right? And then it gives you also the hash in here, the Virustotal report, 60 out of 70. And you can do a lot of stuff with this analysis tool. So in order to be able to run this, I cannot click on TTPs, I cannot click on IOCs or behavior or anything in here. I have to do what's called a dynamic execution. Intezer is going to run the file for me. I just click on this and just wait for a bit. All right, so Intezer has already analyzed the file, and it gives me a whole bunch of stuff, right? So Ave Maria malware, very bad. You can see that it's 82.77%. But if I click on the TTPs, and this is really cool. This is where I think Intezer beats Virustotal by a mile. This is the MITRE attack technique, right? And we start with reconnaissance, resource developing, initial access execution. And you can see that in the execution, this file has shared some modules, and then it has created a persistence inside of the computer by changing or running or creating registry keys. Then you see that there's defense evasion as well. So it's impairing devices like your antivirus and your firewalls, and then the process injection in here as well. And it goes much more in detail into exactly what it is doing in the severity of each of the steps that this virus is taking. So for example, right here, you can see that the technique is attempts to remove evidence of file being downloaded from the internet, then code injection with create remote thread, behavioral detection injection with create remote thread, install itself for auto run on Windows startup, creates a copy of itself, attempts to modify Windows Defender using PowerShell, which is very typical for a rat in command and controls. So you can see how bad this is. Let's go to the IOCs. If we look at this, then you'll see the IP address as well as the domain in network communications. So I click on behaviors, then you see a screenshot. Now the process tree tells you the analysis of the file, all the execution points for this file as well. So yeah, this is a really good tool. If you go into Malpedia and then just type in Ave Maria, you click on it, and these are all the references about Ave Maria. So if I click in here, it takes me to different articles on what Ave Maria is. You can see that this one was posted by the AnHab Lab on July 22nd, and you can read more about what this rat is doing. So you can see here, this is Ave Maria rat and agent Tesla, right, which is another rat. So that's Malpedia. AlienVault is great for community. I love the community in AlienVault, so I'll show you what I mean. So in here, this is AlienVault, and you click on browse, for example, and right here on browse, you can click on indicator, right? And indicators, we're going to just analyze the IP address. So here's the IP address. I'm going to copy this, paste it on AlienVault, and then do a quick search on this IP address. And there you go. You see different sources for this, and I recognize this IP address, which is associated with this other IP address. If I go back to Virustotal and I search for this IP address, you'll see that this one is clean. However, we're starting to see that this IP address is going to get very quickly blacklisted because it's associated with other IP addresses that are doing really bad stuff, right? So this one, for example, if I click on it, then you see what is going on. As a cybersecurity analyst, when you're checking out IP addresses on, let's say, Virustotal, even though they come up clean in here, you can actually search for that IP address on AlienVault and see what relation that IP address has to other IP addresses that might be suspicious. This is Any Run. I have also a community account on Any Run, and what I do is I just click on new tasks. You can actually paste the URL or you can upload. So I'm going to choose to upload this in here. Click on quick box. I'm going to put this on the temporary directory, and I can only choose Windows 7 for this Any Run because I have the free version. And then all I do is just click on run. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is how Any Run runs a virus in real time in a sandbox environment for you. 31 more seconds. All right, so Any Run is done. If I go over with the mouse, you can see how the virus is being run. And then there's a few things that happen in here. So for example, the time, you see the response, and then the invocation of different URLs in here. What's really nice about Any Run is this part over here on the right hand side, and I'll show you right now. This is really cool. I love their tree. So right here, you hover over here and it says executable file was dropped. Process injection by images.exe, then following by a known thread, another executable file drop. Process was added to the startup, so creating the persistence in there. Then you see here that another file was dropped as well. If you look at this, then integrity level elevation, so elevating privileges. And this is what I'm talking about. Connect to the network. So this is where the Ave Maria rat is communicating with the mothership. So this is great. I love Any Run because you can actually see the virus on real time. If you click on IOCs, also it's going to give you the different indicators of compromise, like the hashes, the DNSs, and IP addresses that is connecting to. And that's it. We looked at 5 different tools to check viruses on real time using external resources. I hope you had fun and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Stay safe, stay secure.